welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to discuss about the different analytical use cases by industry. So every time we go for an implementation for an say analytics use case, either from the BI perspective or machine learning perspective, that kind of an implementation is always driven by the intention to find answers to some business questions. The business questions can be coming from the HOD of a department in an educational institution. Like he wants to understand what is the profile of an average student in a particular subject. Also, he wants to understand which students are likely to drop out. If the HOD has got an input that or insights from the data that among 60 students, there are 20 students who are not performing well, they are always the lowest performer in the class and kind of getting a lot of bags in their or complementary compartmental in their subjects. So in this situation he'll be able to assess how to devise a different program to make those students come up to the speed and increase the performance of the particular class and the batch. And also in this situation he'll be able to understand how his faculties are performing, and because of their involvement, if the students performance are getting impacted positively or negatively. From a retail chain, the question would be what products are customers likely to buy based on their previous purchases. So as a marketing manager, you want to understand the customer's buying pattern. Based on that, you will be able to suggest a bunch of offers for the particular customer, or maybe tweak your next campaigning process. Maybe in the campaign you should be adding some new products or new strategy based on the customer's buying pattern. If a customer is kind of buying a lot of books from your e-store or e-commerce platform, selling stationery to the customer is a right strategy. But if you're trying to sell some appliances to the customer who's buying books and always interested to invest in books, then it is not going to be a right strategy, right? So here this kind of different business questions coming from different business users based on the industry. So by implementing a machine learning solution, we are trying to answer these questions. So a machine learning problem has always to be a data centric approach than a model centric approach. The moment we try to answer this kind of problem, we shouldn't be going what kind of model we should be implementing. We should be asking what kind of question or business problem we are solving by using the data that is given to us. So customer analytics is a comprehensive solution that is implemented in each and every industry. So a customer analytics solution is a combination of bunch of ML use cases like churn analytics. You want to understand which customer is going to leave your service or your brand in coming 3 or say 6 months time. Lifetime value, you are doing a calculation of customer's lifetime value, how much expenditure the customer has done on your brand or products or services over his lifetime of association with your company. In the last 5 years the customer is associated with us, how much money he has spent in buying the services or subscribing to the services. Our customer segmentation model helps us to segment the customer based on different kind of parameters: market, geography, product buying pattern, like that. Next best offer again comes from the analysis of segmentation, lifetime value and churn. If you know that because based on lifetime value and segmentation the customer or bunch of customers is going to leave your services, then you can immediately devise a particular solution or say I would say roadmap to retain the customer. You want to understand like what offers I should be giving to the customer that the customer stays with us. Sentiment analysis, it's again a byproduct or say trigger for customer churn. If the customer is not happy with our services and the customer is constantly complaining about something, so it's like he is likely that he is going to leave our service. So by analyzing the customer sentiments, you will be able to understand why the customer has decided to churn out of our service. Upselling, cross-selling is about if the customer is buying XYZ services from us, he or she would be interested to buy another service of similar type. Shall I go ahead and give him the next best offer for that? Customer loyalty is again coming from the customer lifetime value analysis. If a customer is with us for 5 years spending 5 lakhs, customer is with us for 2 years spending 10 lakhs, then the first customer is more loyal to us as compared to second customer, but the lifetime value for second customer of 2 years is higher as compared to the first customer. Tailored experience is all about, based on the customer's profile understanding, you are giving the best customer's experience. Suppose I log into the Amazon portal, and the moment I open it, it is suggesting a lot of appliances, because it is understood I always go to Amazon to buy electronics appliances, small, big, medium, any size, any type. So immediately based on my buying pattern, it is suggesting me some appliances. So instead of wasting my time browsing multiple pages or category to find a single product, Amazon is already showing me the product, or you know bunch of option for the same product. In that situation, I'm saving time, money, energy as well. So this is giving me a very good customer experience in Amazon. Marketing analytics is for the sales and market division of any company. So few bunch of use cases is again in this particular implementation is mixed marketing model or optimization. The sales team wants to understand what factors are impacting their sales positively or negatively. Maybe the marketing budget is so high, instead of getting some profit out of the sales, we are end up investing a lot of money on the advertising, which is not giving us the best ROI, and we are not optimizing that marketing budget properly or advertising budget. Price optimization, based on the competitors pricing on the similar kind of product in a particular market, we should be very careful in terms of pricing our product. So our product is getting sold at 500 in a particular market, and that vendors has already captured that particular market on that price range. If you are launching same kind of product, little bit tweaking on the product quality and trying to sell the product at 2000, nobody is going to buy, because there is a difference of 1500. But if you sell that product at a cost of 7 to 800, there is a chance that you are going to get some customers for your product. Product assortment is about if a customer is buying product A, then why not bundle it up with product B to increase the sale of product B and also give customers a good experience and increase our sale. I browse Amazon for office chairs. All of us are browsing because it's work from home situation. So how about Amazon bundling up the office chair with office or study table? It is going to increase the sale and also help the customer to buy something which is going to be useful. But also it's again depends on customer's requirement. If I do not require a table, then I will not go for the bundle. I'll still go for the single chair. But overall, I know that I do have an option. Everyone likes option. Campaign analytics, based on the past campaign performance for a particular service or product, the marketing team can devise their current campaign and improve the campaign and provide the best services to the customer. Sentiment analysis both goes from the customer sentiment on the services that you are already giving to the customer, and also customers feedback on a newly launched product. So market segmentation is again an unsupervised learning implementation about segmenting the market based on different XYZ factors like geography, product, consumption pattern of the customer, consumer base of the customer. For example, suppose you are a telecom service provider and you are launching your service in a city where the maximum of the population is falling in the category of students. So in that situation, a low price plan is always going to work. So if you put a lowest price plan, say 700 or 800, students will not be buying your SIM or your connection. They will always go for the cheapest one. So based on the market and the consumer you are targeting, you should be launching your product or kind of tweaking your product accordingly. Social media is one of the primary platform nowadays for marketing. So you have launched an ad in Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you want to understand which platform is performing really well in terms of the advertisement, and how many leads are coming from that advertisement. Either the leads are coming from Facebook are higher than Instagram, or vice versa, or maybe all three are in the same line. uh, so then you have to think about the visibility of your ad in all the platforms. So suppose you increase the visibility in Facebook by paying more, then in that situation your lead conversion has gone higher. So now what you should be doing, invest more money on Facebook, and kind of you can stop Instagram for a while and use YouTube. Accordingly you can mix and match, save your money. Market basket is about bundling up your product based on consumers buying pattern. In a retail store, say DMart or say Ratnadeep, a customer who buys egg, bread and milk together always, uh, you have understood this is the kind of items all the customers buys together. Out of 200 customer every day, 180 customers buys the same kind of combination. Then you can keep egg, milk and bread together in a particular shelf. It is going to increase the sale of these three items, plus give a very good customer experience. Sales forecasting is again attached to market mix model. You want to understand what will be your sales in coming 3 or 4 quarter. You are kind of forecasting the sales volume or sales value based on multiple parameters. In BFSI, apart from customer and marketing analytics, there are few specific use cases like AML or anomaly detection. I'm a customer who has a salary of 30,000. Every month I spend maximum 10 to 12,000 in my credit card. But suddenly one fine day at night 12 o'clock, my card is swiped for 2 lakhs rupees. Immediately the system is going to capture that as an anomaly in the system and trigger the risk management team for taking the right action. Your customer care is going to call you and ask you if this is what you know a legitimate transaction coming from you, or it's a fraudulent one. If you say no, I haven't made such kind of transaction, immediately system blocks a transaction and your money is saved. You are safe from getting scammed. If not, if you have spent that amount and you kind of said yes, I have spent that amount, then the transaction goes through. Investment prediction is like I have 30,000 rupees. I want to invest in some kind of investment instruments. I am a low or medium risk taker. The system is going to take the information from me as a customer, give some prediction based on my requirement, and also attach a specific investment banker who is very much experienced in handling medium risk profiles. Algorithmic trading, so every morning we get up and log into our demat accounts or say stock market portal and see which stock is performing, how much money I am going to gain or lose. How about having a system which is going to predict which stock is going to perform well in next day. These kind of solutions are getting used in financial services or stockbroking firms. Fraud detection is again from the anomaly detection side. It is very much seen in BFSI, banking, financial services and insurance. Risk analytics, credit risk analytics is about checking the affordability of a customer based on multiple parameters like credit card history, his credit history, salary, how much money he saves, how much loan he has already taken and how much loan he has paid, any default. Everything is kind of calculated and categorize the customer in high, low and medium risk, and also gives a score to the customer for segregating a customer in terms of what kind of loan or amount of loan he or she should be getting. Customer service is again coming from the customer sentiment analytics and also analysis of customers experience with the bank or financial services. Consumer packaged goods again similar to retail, but here we do not have a consumption level. We check the use cases in end-to-end supply chain analytics area. starting from procurement of the good, warehousing, manufacturing or production, then distribution, transportation and routing, distribution and consumption level. Quality assurance of the product manufactured. We collect a lot of information in and around when a product is getting manufactured. Upscale cross-sell is more from the consumption level. It's about bundling up different products to increase the sale. And also from the distribution perspective, if our distribution channels are not performing well, then we can kind of bundle up few products for distribution purpose, so that our distribution channels improve in terms of selling maximum type of product from our manufacturing end. Manufacturing, demand and forecasting and inventory management goes hand in hand. If the demand is high as compared to supply, then we are always going to be at loss, and vice versa is going to give us profit. To manage the demand, we always have to have a good inventory managed. It also related to the warehouse management and the production side. Fall prediction and preventive maintenance is from the machinery perspective. Here we can easily monitor a particular machine in a manufacturing plant remotely and see when that particular machine is going to break down and send an early warning sign. Price optimization about the goods produced and also from the distribution and vendor and supply perspective. Warranty analysis given on particular good, and again it depends the type of goods. If it's an automobile, then you are giving warranty on the complete car or the body of the car or different parts of the car or what, and how your warranty is getting utilized by your customers, and it's also attached to the performance of your dealers for that particular car or the cars you are manufacturing. Computer vision is about also coming from the insurance perspective. The insurance industries are using computer vision algorithms to understand the damage done to a particular car after or vehicle after accident, assessing the damage and kind of immediately settling the claims. Supply chain analytics is again same as the CPG, end-to-end analysis of the supply chain processes, warehousing, production, procurement, distribution and everything. In media, for example, at this point in time when it is COVID and we are stuck at home, we are using OTT platforms like Netflix, Prime or say Hotstar very much. Each and every platform is competing with each other in terms of giving us the best experience as a customer, both from the recommendation perspective and also producing the right set of movies and series. So here it is very much important for the OTT platforms, the companies, to understand what the customer is saying about their new releases in terms of movies or series, and analyzing the Twitter and Facebook comments. It's very important for them to understand if they have launched a campaign like a family pack at 499 rupees, how positively it is impacting the customer and how we are converting the customers. Like they always try to capture the customer base from Prime and convert it to customer base in Netflix, and that kind of a battle always goes on in different media companies. So how exactly this can be done? Shall we be launching a campaign where we are offering less price for 1 month membership, or how exactly we should be doing? In pharma is a very complicated domain. Here, to implement a very simple machine learning use case, it takes a lot of extensive experience in pharma. A clinical trial, for example, is very complex. In clinical trial, you are trying to administer a drug and try to understand how exactly a drug is performing or impacting positively negatively on the subject. That subject can be a human, it can be an animal. If it's a human, then you will be taking lots of x-rays, you will be doing lots of scan, you will be taking blood samples, genetic samples, a lot of stuff. This data is always unstructured. Collecting, analyzing this data takes a lot of time, money and energy, plus it takes a huge investment on technology to get the right information. Suppose a drug is administered on a particular subject, a human subject. 15 days before the drug was given, his brain was completely okay. After 15 days after drug was given, his brain is not, say left side of the brain has become kind of scarred. So now the machine learning algorithm, especially the image classification algorithm, has to detect that particular change in the human skull and report it, that there is an abnormality in the subject X. Also it has to report information from uh, devices like blood pressure, oxygen level, or say heartbeat. These things goes into the IoT world. Here you are trying to analyze lots of sensors data from devices. So overall, pharmaceutical is a very complex domain to implement a single or very simple use case in machine learning. So this is all I wanted to talk about today. So the next follow-up videos will be implementation of use cases, both from the business side and from the technical side. So I'll be starting with customer analytics as a first topic, and I will go one by one how to implement different use cases in customer analytics, both from the machine learning perspective and from the business perspective.